What's going on, guys? I'm Renegade. Welcome back to my custom Suzuki Intruder build. First of all, I hope you guys have enjoyed this build. Working on this Intruder has been a nice little challenge for me because it's a bike I've never worked on. It's a style I'm not really adept in. I'm used to more of a sportier motorcycle than this. This is a really nice challenge for me. If you guys have liked the build, please remember to say so in the comments and hit the like button. And if you're looking forward to more builds, remember to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload a new video, because I'm just getting started. But last video, I talked about painting. The paint prep and everything that went involved in that. And you guys had seen some of the modifications I had done, but I left you guys hanging saying, well, you're going to have to wait to see. Well, she's all done. Now, if you're new here, you might not have seen the whole build series, but don't worry, there's a link to the playlist down in the description below, and there'll probably be a card above my head somewhere. But this here is my 1986 Suzuki Intruder VS700. Doesn't look like an 86 anymore, does it? So when I bought this bike, to remind you guys, and to inform you guys who haven't been here, when I bought this bike, it was a little worse for wear. Not bad, as they say, it had good bones. It was missing its mufflers, its turn signals, its mirrors. It wasn't running 100%. The paint was chipping and fading and needed some love. And, you know, the normal things that need to happen. So, I got the bike and went to work. Obviously, the big noticeable thing is it's got a custom paint job. This is not the way that the bike looked stock. When I got it, it was all black, which worked for me because I like black motorcycles. Then I went about all that. But before I got to any of the painting or anything, I had a bunch of things I wanted to take care of. One was legality and safety. Bike had no mirrors. Bike had no turn signals. So, got the nice bar end mirrors here, one on either side because I like to be able to see both sides. Thank you very much. And they work really well when I'm riding. Riding down the road, see everything behind me very clearly. And they're nice and sleek, which I also really like. I also replaced the stock headlight with this unit here. Put in an LED so it's nice and bright. Hard to see in this light, but it's there. Turn signals built into the light itself. And in the back, we trimmed it up and put on this unit. This LED, taillight, brake light, turn signal integrated light unit. So now I have functioning turn signals on the rear as well. And a couple LEDs here make it so that my license plate is illuminated. Reflector bolts on the license plate keep it legal because you need to have reflectors on the back, at least in the state of New Jersey. Of course, I did have to tear apart the carburetors to get it actually running correctly. Not too bad of an issue. And I did have to drain out the forks and replace the fork oil because they were not dampening at all. Some of the other things that I did. We've got the digital tachometer, speedometer unit here, which looks really nice. It's got a mechanical sweeping tachometer, and it's got a digital readout for the speedometer. Now, of course, like many of you bike owners, one of the first things that everyone does, at least fairly soon on, is to remove the horrid blocky amber reflectors on the front of the bike. Often they're found on the front forks or somewhere on the body panels close to. On this one, they were actually on the radiator guard here, but they were gone when I got the bike, of course, so no problem. but want it to be legal. By the law, you have to have a reflector on the sides and the front of your motorcycle. At least that's the law in New Jersey. There is no law stating what color they have to be. On my XJ600, I use a red reflective tape to create a ring. It's a nice little color sash, and it worked really well. I didn't want to do that with this bike because it's got a much sleeker look to it. So what I did, that Suzuki S is made of reflective material. I've got one on either fork, so when light hits it, this S actually reflects, taking care of my requirement for a reflector. It's little details like that really make a motorcycle. Another example being, I put this little fin here on the headlight. Reason being, when you look at it from afar, it elongates the line of the body and just makes it that much sleeker. Now for paint, notice I went with a purple. I'll show you on this, it really shows here. I went with purple, and what I did was I actually sprayed a layer of purple lightly and then a layer of blue lightly. What ends up happening is you have this kind of color shifting effect. I hope the camera gives it some relevance of, or some idea of color. And I hit it with a glitter blast spray paint and then clear coated it all. What is happening is this color, this purple, kind of changes shade a smidge as you look at it. And the glitter that is on here kind of gives almost a galaxy-esque a feel to it. And of course, what's a motorcycle without its proper badging? Well, on this bike, nothing, because I didn't like the original badging. It sucked. I didn't say it sucked, but it certainly wasn't anything great. So what I did, I found online, on Amazon I believe, although I think you can get them on Amazon and eBay. I found these badges online that use the modern design that you see on the boulevards, but instead it's a Suzuki Intruder badge instead of a Suzuki Boulevard badge. And I think it really fits with the more modernized look that I was going for here. Still obviously Intruder, I'm not badging it as anything that it's not, but I modernized it. I think that really fits in well with the design. As I said when I was designing the bike, I really wanted to take this 86 Intruder and bring it to the modern day. It had a very classic look to it, but not necessarily in a great way. It reeked of the late 70s, the early 80s. Yeah, and frankly, Suzuki really hasn't moved past that too much with the Intruder series. They pretty much kept the same look for its entire run. But I wanted to keep the heritage and just kind of modernize it, sleek it out a little bit, take off some of the things that made it to late 70s and early 80s. This is an Easy Rider. These aren't custom choppers with awesome Patriot style paint jobs. No, this is a nice, great running, hop on it and ride wherever you want to go type motorcycle. So with the modern paint scheme that I went with, sleeking it out, making it a little more unique, with the modern badges, and by removing the big funky thing that used to be here, it really just sleeked it all down. Now one thing I should note is that the bike is not 100% done. You guys see this seat cover here, and you see this one. This is the original seat cover. This is the one I made. Now I have yet to get the fabric to make a new front seat cover. But this seat cover has been done. Hand stitched with a silver thread. Give it a slight lip so that your passenger will feel it and know to stop. And I elongated it a little bit to just kind of bring that line all the way back. Another thing I did was when I removed the backrest, which, let's face it, was a horrible design. From the back of it, just looked like a vertical line. Aesthetically, it did nothing for me. It did nothing for the bike, really. When I took that off, I eliminated the only storage space on the bike. Which means, now granted, I'm kind of crazy, I'm a mechanic, so I always carry tools on me, and there's not really any storage for tools. There wasn't to begin with. But it means that you had to make sure that you had your paperwork, your registration and your insurance card in your pocket or in your wallet at all times, or at bare minimum, you had to make sure you grabbed it when you left. It's kind of a pain. I mean, really? So when I made this seat cover, what I actually did, I'll show you. On this side, panel, seam, panel. And on this side, panel, seam, panel, but it's a false seam. It's actually a pocket. It's actually a pocket so you can store, I suggest in a Ziploc bag, your registration and insurance card. Sleeked out, modernized, at least to bring it to the modern day. And it runs great. Everything I wanted. But of course, as great as I think it looks, if you think it looks good too, remember to hit the like button. But as great as it looks, that's only half of it, right? I mean, it's great to make a motorcycle that looks good. That's a beautiful piece of art. And some motorcycles really are. But what good is it if it doesn't ride? And ride well. Well, let's hop on the bike and I'll show you. Obviously, one of the first things I had to do when I got this bike was I had to change up the bars. The original handlebars that were on here were too tall and put my arms at a weird angle that I did not like. It was not comfortable. So after I switched them over, this now is very comfortable. And the bike handles really well. It's really flippy now, but without having an aggressive stance. I'm sitting mostly upright, probably only because I slouch am I not sitting perfectly upright, but it's very comfortable. My hands are a little more than shoulder width apart. There's plenty of room. Like I said, it handles so smoothly now. Such a direct input. Oh yeah. And you can hear the motor is just purring like a kitten. Part of that is because I did retune the carburetors and make them run more efficiently. And the other thing I did was I put these mufflers on. Leftovers from a Harley. And gives it this great sound. And it just purrs even at idle. And it's perfectly steady. I'm idling at about 1200 RPM. Steady as can be. I love the fact now also that it has a tachometer, because I like seeing how my bike is running, or my car is running. I like anything that's got a tachometer so you can see how it is actually running. Otherwise, it's too much guesswork. Now, of course, this bike is from 1986, which means she's not exactly a spring chicken. We're not talking about fuel injected. There's no anti-locking brake system. There's no adjusting, or no self-adjusting suspension control system. anything like that. This is all raw bones, rock and roll motorcycle. And that's what I really like about it. It's simple. And yet, in its simplicity, it's beautiful. This is raw. This is you and the machine together. It's a wonderful feeling. And now, with the bike looking like it does, although granted it could use a wash, you know, looking like this, looking sleeker than stock, custom paint job. This is really a motorcycle that I'd be proud to just, you know, go cruising around town on. Hell, I have. Or show up to a motorcycle meet. It's one of those bikes that you just want, like, you know, lift your visor and go cruising. It really is now, like, in my mind, a beautiful cruising motorcycle. There's a great scene, and it's only like a clip, and I think it might be as much as 5 seconds, from Avengers, when you see Chris Evans as Captain America riding away on his motorcycle, and he's just sitting there, you know, relaxing, cruising. That's the way this bike feels now. You know, I know I have turn signals, I got brake lights, I've got headlights, I've got a high beam, everything works, I've got mirrors, I've got a speedometer, I have everything I need. And it eliminates that concern of, well, is it going to work? Am I going to be safe? Is someone going to see me? The answer is yes. You will be seen. Yes, you are as safe as you can be on a motorcycle. Now I just kind of want to hit the road and cruise. Now, obviously, I've had a lot of help on this project. You know, there were some nice people that were nice enough to donate to me on Ko-fi.com. Just a reminder, if you want to donate to try and make more of these builds possible, and the more donations, the more I have in terms of an income, the bigger the builds I can do. You can donate to me on Ko-fi.com/TheRenegade. There'll be a link for that down in the description as well. I had a few donators. Of course, I'm always very grateful to those people who donate. But also, my girlfriend Stephanie was a lot of help in this. She acted as my camera person. She acted as an extra set of hands to try and hold something or to hand me things. And she did a lot of work on the sanding of this. That's why the finish is so gorgeous. Because we sanded it to within an inch of his life. And she was kind enough to help me with all that. Hell, even her mother was a big help because she allowed me to use the garage at their old place to do a lot of this build. It's where you saw those videos before. And of course, as I said, this is a 1986 Suzuki 700. It's a 2-cylinder. It has a carburetor for each cylinder. It's shaft driven. This is old school. But of course, you gotta ask, is it fast? Yeah, it's fast. Because that was from a roll. How about from a dead stop? Yep, still fast. But yes, this bike is fast. It's comfortable. It's reliable. It's something I can see myself riding to and from work every day. And at least in my opinion, she's darn good looking. Everything I want to achieve with this motorcycle, every checkbox checked. So overall, I'm really happy with it. And I hope you guys like it too. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this build. Hopefully it is the first of many. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. I hope you guys dig the motorcycle and what I've done with it. And yeah, that'll be it for me for today, guys. So until the next time, y'all keep rocking and rolling. I'm gonna keep taking care of business. I'm gonna see about finding a new motorcycle because I want to do another build. Y'all have a good one.